Hello and welcome to Black Crow Gaming. And this week we're going to be talking more about Space Wolves. You're joined by Arron and Simon as we do another episode of the wonderful Space Wolves. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been a nice little. I've had some good games with them. I'm enjoying them. It's nice to get the old walls back out again.
I mean, they're pretty spicy. Let's be honest.
They are pretty spicy.
Don't
They're,
mind me.
they're,
I'm just having a bit of a shuffle so we can see our wonderful sponsors.
it's like we're professional and know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
So what have you? So you've had a few games. I'm waiting
Yeah.
for it to come up on TTS so that I can play and test the models. But we have both acknowledged that there is some units and builds and combos that we think will do well in the meta,
Yes.
to say the least. And we are misleading people with a little bit of a clickbaity title, and we're going to blame Toby for that.
It's always Toby's fault.
We are going to blame Toby because it is Toby's fault, and I think it's funnier to blame Toby. So
He can take it. He's fine.
yeah, he can take it. So anyway,
He's a strong, independent man. You don't need no person.
so what we're going to do, we're going to talk about our wonderful sponsors. We are sponsored by Glasshammer Gaming, Terrainforge, and Trident FutureWorks. If you want to know a little bit more about those, go into the description below, have a look at our Linktree and jump on there. You get 5% off Glasshammer, you get 5% off Terrainforge, and you get to see some amazing custom work from Trident FutureWorks for all of your case needs. Are you excited, Simon?
I am. I'm just showing off the Glasshammer Elite shirt.
Oh,
It's lovely. Very, very, very perfect for this kind of weather where it's freaking hot.
it is wham.
Toasty. I've been in the kitchen this morning. It was very hot.
Well, that sounds unfortunate. But
No.
let's talk about how this Space Wolf detachment will dominate. And here's how.
I mean, if there's a good player, it probably will. If there's one of us.
It's a big maybe.
Yeah.
It's a maybe, let's be honest. It's a maybe. Yeah. But we're going to talk about how it does and what it can do. Yeah. And we're excited about that. But we do need to do a quick talk about the meta and what the meta is, because we need to acknowledge that some people might not even know what we're talking about. So, what is the meta? It's a term known as the meta game. It refers to the current state of the competitive game. This consistently changes every 3 months as new rules and points for the game update. And this could refer to strong army, list builds, or a particular strategy, for example, fast-moving armies with lots of scoring units.
Just put Eldar in there next time.
Metagame, Eldar. Fixed it, mate.
Yeah, fixed it. Yep.
So today we're going to be talking about the saga of the Beastslayer.
It's one of those ones that's when the book first came out, everyone went, "Yes, this detachment is bonkers." The more I'm playing it, yes, it is very, very strong. I don't know if it's my favorite at the moment, but it's a very, very strong build. Very, very strong detachment.
So I feel like this detachment leads really well into movement shenanigans.
Yeah.
So because you've got that reactive move, you've got that blood surge move, you've got that take off the board side edge. Yeah. You know, it's really difficult for your opponent to actually avoid you and said charge you.
Yes.
And I like that. I think that's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. And some of the combos we talk about in here are pretty impactful. So shall we talk about this detachment? Give us a rundown, Simon.
So you're getting lethals against monsters, vehicles, and character units. So obviously when a character joins a unit because of bodyguard, that unit then gets character keyword. So we love that. You have to kill half the total units with those keywords on the table before your whole army then gets lethals against everything else. So it can be quite tricky to trigger, but when it does, it pops off and it is very, very strong. And it's just, it's a very, very strong detachment.
And there's just a meta full of these types of units at the minute.
Yeah, especially with knights getting reduced.
I mean, you don't need to worry about your saga, do you? Because of the knight. Then the knight meta that is coming, you're basically just going to have it on everything in that knight army anyway. Yeah. So you just flat ignore it and you're like, cool, I have got lethals against everything you do.
Yes.
Which is really big when you've got rerolls to hit because of oath.
Yeah. There's a reason they didn't give us the good oath with +1 to wound on everything, because that would be bonkers.
Yeah, and then instead they gave us a stratagem.
Yeah, a stratagem for one unit's good.
When you need to finish it off in combat.
Yeah. Or you just take Wolf Priest and get it to on everything, so it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, this is an army that likes to fight.
Yeah.
It likes the fight phase.
Yeah.
And I like the fight phase. Let's talk about the stratagems, though. So the first stratagem we're going to talk about. So they're all 1 CP. Let's just get that out of the way. And you've got Unbridled Ferocity, which is the fight phase stratagem that gives you +1 to wound for a unit.
Great clutch. Amazing.
Yeah, gonna come in big. The next one is the Shock Cavalry. You talked about this one quite a lot.
It's really, really good. So Thunderwolf Cavalry going through 4-inch walls is fantastic. There are a couple of caveats where you have to be going through certain size ruins and dimensions of terrain and things. So on a big 6-man unit of Thunderwolf, just busting through one of the lower walls from like the LGT or UKTC terrain is really, really big. It's nice. It can just stops like the movement of blocking, really.
Yeah.
And
you can finish an engagement range if it's well, from a charge point of view, which obviously you're going to be doing anyway. So, but it just means you can pass through screens.
Yeah.
To get to the
on a big blob of 6 Thunderwolf Cavalry, it's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. But to be fair, it's not hard to screen out the bases.
No.
So I think it's good. I think in this particular detachment, I don't think you go heavy on the Thunderwolves.
No, yeah. After a couple of games, I've realised that small squad of Thunderwolves are probably better than the big ones.
Pinning Fire. I quite like this. So it's a shooting stratagem. Take 2 inches off the movement and charge from character, vehicle, and monster units.
Really nice.
I think that's quite nice. It's a nice little like, hi Magnus, I'm going to shoot you. I'm not going to do anything to you, but I am going to reduce your movement, or I'm going to reduce your charge range. Which, when you come to the charge and he's getting like a 6-inch charge, all of a sudden that becomes an 8. That's quite impactful because the odds wildly then stack in a different direction. It can, equally make. It can really throw a bit of a spanner in the works, especially with the reactive move capability as well. Like you move within, you've then got a minus to your. You could then minus to their charge, and you can reactive move away from them.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. And the best thing about this reactive move, we're going to talk about it now, is so it's a reactive move of D6 unless it's a Space Wolf infantry or cavalry, then it's flat 6 inches,
which is amazing. Stick it on the wolf and blood claws.
Yeah.
But saying that, doesn't anything that goes into this detachment get the Space Wolf infantry keyword?
I don't think so.
No.
I think it gets the Adeptus Astartes keyword.
Right, okay. I knew there was some definition of it. I just couldn't remember which one it was.
Because I was looking at the enhancements and I was trying to work it out because it says Space Wolf character.
Yeah.
And actually they don't get that. They get the Adeptus Astartes. So it's not quite the same.
Fine. Still really, really good. Yeah.
So impetuosity, I hate that sound of this stratagem. Just after being shot, Wolfen and Bloodclaws move D6 towards the closest enemy unit and can finish within engagement range.
Brilliant.
Shoot me so that I can tag you.
Yeah. Your opponent has to be very, very careful about what they activate and how they activate.
Yes.
The big block 20 Bloodclaws suddenly just going, oh, go on.
If you shoot me, I'm just going to go tag the unit that I've deliberately staged next to.
So you can use that 2 stratagems there. So somebody moves within 9 inches, you move 6 inches closer towards them, especially with Space Wolves, Wolfen, and then they shoot you, and then you suddenly moved potentially 12 inches in their turn.
And then you're in combat with them, and then nothing else can activate to shoot you.
And you're fighting first.
Because you're the defender.
Nice. Really strong.
Yeah, because you're the defender. So that is is a combo to think about, guys. So what you need to be thinking about is using that movement of reactive move. Don't just move away to make unchargeable. Move towards to then get shot again to then tag, and then you get to fight first. It actually could save you a few models, and some players out there won't put 2 and 2 together and you will tell them your stratagems. This isn't an I gotcha, because you tell them at the beginning of the game what your stratagems
Yep.
are, and you
You'll
don't,
probably remind your opponent as well.
remind them what you're doing, and then if they make that decision, and then you tag them, they will probably end up losing that unit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So far, all of the stratagems are usable and good.
Yeah.
None
They're
of them
situational.
yeah, but those situations come up.
Yeah.
The
Are you
next
going to build a
one,
list around it? Probably
think,
two of them.
yeah, I think there'll be moments where that will come up and it'll be clutch.
Yeah.
And it'll win you the game.
Yeah.
So the next one's Coordinated Strike. End of the opponent's fight phase. A Space Wolf unit which is wholly within 9 of the battlefield edge can be removed and placed in strategic reserves. Must not be in engagement range.
Oh, I've misplaced my Vindicator. I really need to be over in my opponent's deployment zone and shooting stuff in the back. Oh, here we go.
Yes.
And combo that with Mr. Logan.
I was thinking, yeah, we'll talk about that later. But I was thinking actually as well. There's so many devastating shooting combos already that live within vanilla, which you can take. As in, you can take a Space Marine character that wildly enhances the statistics of a particular shooting unit. You can use that to put them in the right position, and then boom,
Boom.
Boom. Which is exactly what we're here for. We're here to deliver the boom.
Yeah.
So I think that's strong. That's what they were getting from Vanguard, wasn't it? And they were doing Vanguard detachment Marines were just basically shifting from one side to the other.
Yeah.
And it worked for them. So we get that in this detachment. So the enhancements. Wolf Touched. This is the one you talk about. You like this one.
It's just great. With the Wolfguard battle leader taking it, so Wolfen, you can now join Wolfen. And they've suddenly got OC1 and they're jumping up the board and they get sustained hits with a Wolfguard battle leader. And suddenly those 2 attacks each that they have on a 10-man unit, 20 attacks, suddenly
Don't give too much away.
Well, yeah, I know. We're sort of burying the lead on this one, but it's strong. They're really, really good.
Yeah, it does work well, yeah. And the next one is the Hunter's Guile. Ademptus Astartes unit. After deployment, you can redeploy 3 units, Bloodclaws, Thunderwolf, and Wolfen. So anybody can take this one.
Yeah.
This is the good one. This is the good redeploy.
No, this is after deployment, so before you know who's going first.
This is a good one. So you can basically see how defensive or defensive. This is good. Like, you want this.
You can bait someone out.
Yeah. So say for example, you've banked on one side, your opponent's then gone heavy that side. You can then just like redeploy and go completely switch to the other side. I think it's quite good. Obviously, all of these enhancements are points dependent. I know the points have come out, and it will depend on how you build your lists. But there is some play there.
Wolf Touch is the most expensive.
Sorry?
Wolf Touch is the most expensive.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Yeah.
Elder's Guidance, Space Wolf model only. Once per battle, increase the AP for Bloodclaw units by 1. Great on a Wolfguard battle leader.
Yeah.
If you want to do that combo.
Yeah, I mean it's adding sustained hits on Bloodclaws. If you're a real glutton for punishment and not on a clock, yeah, probably fine. But yeah, EP2 chainswords with Bloodclaws advancing and charging up the board is horrendous.
Yeah. And the next one's the Helm of the Beastslayer. Basically, AOC for the unit against character, vehicle, and monster units. Works well on a Wolf Priest with head takers.
Yeah.
Really nice. That's like the tank build, isn't it? You want them to live well. If we had a Terminator Wolfguard captain, then that would make more sense.
Yeah, there's a reason we don't, I think.
Which is sad.
Yeah. It's fine, we can take regular Terminators with them.
Well, yes. Let's go on to combos now. One thing me and Simon noticed from our chat was there was a little bit of a disagreement, wasn't there, Simon?
Yeah, maybe.
And who was that between, Simon?
Oh, that would be the Dark Angel players and the Space Wolf players.
So we were
there's a feud between them.
Yes. We were kind of reading this and we were thinking, what would be the sensible thing? Obviously, to de-escalate.
Oh, you said de-escalate. Oh,
Mm.
we went the wrong way.
Oh, we mean escalate.
Yeah, we escalated.
So, Toby, this is just for you. Screw you.
Yeah.
And we have decided that every single combo will be based on how we kill the lion.
Yeah.
So, does
Because
this
everyone can see
combo
him now.
kill the lion? So, one of the big things in the comments that came up was this particular gentleman said that blood claws couldn't kill the lion. And I particularly liked the comment back was, sorry, what edibles are you on? Of
Yeah.
course they can.
Yeah.
And so I thought what would be really good was we'd do the roll. So we'd do the work for it. So we use an app called Adept Roll, which looks at averages. So you put in the profile that you're going to be able to attack with against the defense profile, and you just see how it goes.
Right.
Shall we see how this went?
Yeah. They're not going to like it.
So Blood Claws with Ragnar. Pretty tasty. A 20 blob can re-roll wounds and has advance and charge.
Lovely.
This combo works beautifully with oaths and the +1 to wound stratagem.
Yes.
You see where we're going here, can't you?
Yeah.
And obviously they've got lethals. And with reactive moves, you could quickly tag units, restricting your opponent's capacity. Yeah. Weakness, no fallback shoot and charge. There isn't. We don't have that.
No.
But when you kill everything you touch.
Yeah, that's yeah. You don't really need to be falling back and charging if you've just killed everything anyway.
Yes. And we're going to show you exactly how. Can this build kill the Lionel Johnson? And let's assume the lion who has fights first innately has killed 10.
Yeah.
Because I
he's got
think
a speed profile.
Yeah. I think he probably wounds 12 times and you probably save 2. Yeah, we'll go with that. I think that's fair.
Averages, yep.
Yeah. 10 times 4 attacks. Because obviously you've killed that 10. So that other 10 probably won't struggle to wrap the lion.
No.
At strength 4, 1 AP, damage 1. That equals 40 attacks with lethals, rerolls to hit, +1 to wound, and rerolls to wound. That on average equals 8 damage that has gone through and Lion has failed. So he's failed 8.
Yeah.
He's taken 8 damage. Then we go with Ragnar's attacks. Because he charged, he gets +2. With sustained, with lethals, with rerolls to hit, with +1 to wound, and rerolls to wound, does an extra 12 damage.
He can just solo him himself. He doesn't need the blood claws. They're just ablative wounds for old Ragnar, really.
So we didn't use a grenade here, folks. Just saying. I'm just telling you. That means it's a deadline.
It's 2 deadlines, technically.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the lion has like other abilities it can do, but obviously they're going to have to have picked that beforehand.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
we're assuming that this is on the best lion abilities picked.
And we're also assuming that he has rolled completely averages on free up saves.
Yeah.
So I just want to remind you, Dark Angel players, that this is assuming the best case scenario for you. And he dies.
Yeah.
Quite epically.
Absolutely. I mean, that is what 270 for the 20 blood claws and then 90 for Ragnar. So 360 points. How much is Lion?
315, I think.
Okay, so we've traded down, but we've killed a big chess piece.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll take that trade.
Yeah. So that's combo number 1, Space Wolf, guys. So if you really want to know just how much damage, I mean, bear in mind, this is going into the Lion who can tank an obscene amount of damage.
Yeah.
Obscene amount of damage.
Yeah, we don't like fights first.
No. Now we're going to go into kind of like an idea of just general good quality builds in this. So from Region Wolves, excellent cheap screening units and actions.
Yeah. If you've got the spare 40, 50 points for them, fine. I wouldn't go
big bases.
searching. Yeah.
So they will help in this Death Guard meta.
True.
The coordinated strike stratagem could be amazing at getting key units up the board, and coupled with Logan's ability to increase the turn in which a unit arrives, means a unit could be in your opponent's deployment turn 2.
Great.
Think about those devastating shooting combos.
Yeah, you better hope you screen well.
Yeah, And if they don't, and you spot that, wonderful.
Yeah.
Grey Hunters are just great natural expansion holders.
Yeah.
I don't think we can argue that. OC 3 each. So
Yeah, I'm coming around to Grey Hunters a bit more now. Since our review, I've gone back and just sort of looked at Grey Hunters a bit more. I think there's certainly a lot more place for them, especially with the reroll wounds. It's really, really good, especially if you couple that with a Wolf Priest.
Yeah. It's just, I suppose the 10 models isn't a bad thing.
No, it's just the lack of advance and charge from. That's literally the only downside to them compared to Bloodclaws.
Exactly. But there are other detachments, which we will review.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're assuming we're in this one that's going to dominate.
Yes.
Terminators will also fill the role of natural expansion holders. I think you could arguably just sit a unit of Terminators and they will just live there for most of the game pretty untouched.
For 170 points, you don't mind that.
No, they're quite hard to kill.
Yeah.
They look great, but yes, they're not as good as Deathwing Knights, guys. That came up in the comments.
In terms of look, they're probably better.
Deathwing Knights are also 250 points.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of points. So they're going to be a bit better than our Terminators.
True. But ours look prettier.
Ours are cooler.
Yeah. We've got pelts.
And we're not Chaos.
I don't know.
Plus, our Trimarch doesn't have dementia. He's just lost somewhere. Dressed up as a wolf.
Yeah. Lemon Russ is definitely coming back tainted.
With a massive wolf hand.
Yes.
He's going to call it his fur claw. Furries everywhere unite.
Yeah.
Thunderwolf cavalry going through units and walls could be devastating, but no access to advance and charge makes them less efficient.
Yeah. But the fact they got a 12-inch move makes up for it a little bit with the fact they can go through walls and units.
Yeah, because it's basically you've got your threat range is still 24.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. You could get lucky and draw the was it a challenger card that just allows you to go through units.
Or gives you the advance and charge.
Yeah, that'd be quite interesting. Oh no.
My boys.
Yeah.
Here is my damage free.
Yes.
Out the woodsy. So the next lot of combos is Wolfen Wolfguard Battle Leader using the enhancement Wolf Touched.
Great.
Makes them OC1, like we discussed. Gives them plenty of punch. Having anti-monster and vehicle makes them incredibly deadly. A unit of 10 gets a charge off, has 20 attacks with rerolls, lethals, and sustained.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Combo off that.
This unit moves 9 inches, so it's very fast. Combos well with reactive moves, can tank damage with 4-up invols. Toughness 6 as well. 2 wounds.
Yeah.
Still pretty
That's
tough.
pretty good.
But, Simon, can it kill the lion?
Of course, if Bloodclaws can do it, Wolfen should be able to do it, right?
Let's assume the lion kills 5.
Why is he only killing 5?
Which is, we're saying he's killed half the unit because of 4-ups. There's a 50% chance. So he's got 12 attacks on the sweep, which is damage 2.
Yeah.
He'll be hitting us on 2s, wounding us on 3s, and say, for example, we save 50%, he drops 3, maybe max.
Yeah.
We then save 50%, which is on a 4-up. You do.
Yeah.
You then say 50%. He's killed 5.
Yeah.
So that is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
And then the average scenario, to be honest.
Yeah.
So with 5, that's 10 attacks with rerolls, hitting on 3s with sustained and lethals, and anti-monster damage free.
Nice.
Equals on average 12 damage.
And that's before even the Wolfguard battle leader.
The battle leaders fought, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice.
So, to answer your question, yes.
Yeah.
It does kill the lion.
Again, that's a better trade.
That is a good trade. Yeah, that is a good trade.
But 280 for that one.
Yeah, 280 again kills that centerpiece model. And the only reason we're basing this on the lion is because we thought it'd be funny.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you put them into a knight. and
Yeah.
they probably would, because a knight's not going to interrupt, and it might stomp in an interrupt, and
You'll also get 20 blood claws onto a knight
yeah,
because you'll be able to wrap.
yeah.
So it means you'll get 80 attacks with lethals with rerolls.
It's the AP one from the blood claws though, which it does let it down. It's the
Yeah,
only AP
but
two on
knights
the
are still
100.
saving on 4+s,
Yeah, yeah,
and you'll still probably put in about 30 saves.
yeah. With the full rerolls and +1 a wound, it is that's the biggest key thing. Is the reroll wounds.
Yeah,
+1 a wound is fantastic, but if you don't have the rerolls, like math is completely changed.
yeah, absolutely. The rerolls makes it the thing. That's why you take it with Ragnar.
Yeah, yeah.
So it does kill one lion.
Nice. We've killed 3 lions so far.
Yeah, we're killing lions.
Nice.
Gun line builds. Do you
Yeah,
like?
everyone watch my videos with Josh on Sunday.
Yes, gun line.
Mhm.
Lethals make gun lines very efficient.
Yeah,
The pinning fire stratagem could be used slowing and advance key units. We talked about that earlier. Using an Iron Priest to give rapid fire to units like Predator Annihilator gives them 6 las cannon shots, 2 hunter killers with lethals and rerolls.
yeah.
Now
So
this is
that's
a little bit
24-inch
swingy.
range.
Sorry.
That's going to be 24-inch range.
Yeah.
You have to be rapid fire. So you're fair. You're danger close, but you're not. Yeah, you want to be that close to
I
get
think
him.
the lion does have lone op though, doesn't he?
Yes,
So you'd need
if
to
he's
be
within range of infantry.
quite close to him.
Yeah,
But we're assuming we want to know, does it kill the lion? And the answer to that is probably.
maybe.
But can it kill the Lionel Johnson? So on averages, the las cannon and the hunter killers will do roughly 14 damage combined. That is 6 las cannons and 8 hunters, because that's assuming we've got rerolls to hit. So
Yeah.
assuming you basically with rerolls to hit, you basically hit all the times.
Yeah.
You get some lethals off.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's got the -1 to wound baked in with if they take that detachment.
Which they probably will, I imagine, nowadays.
Well, if they're not in that detachment, then
They're probably not gone in a lion.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it can swing, but it can kill the lion quite comfortably. The lion only has to fail a couple of these.
Yeah. And you do need to roll a bit hot on your damage, but Predator Annihilator is quite good at that, really.
Yes, because I think it gets to re-roll. Is it re-roll?
Yeah.
The Predator Annihilator's ability is like re-roll damage or something, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Against certain targets, but yeah.
So D6 + 1.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be tight.
it is going to be tight. It is tight. But this is like on an averagey tight roll.
Yeah.
So I think because you've got the hunter killers hitting on 2s with lethals, I think there's a chance, because the lethals kind of help negate that ability for them to -1 to wound anyway.
Yeah.
Which is
we messaged last night about it, and I honestly think the bolter inceptors could be quite good in this detachment.
Yeah, I agree.
Stained and lethals into that, and damage too.
Just coming out the wazoo, isn't it?
Yeah, if you're going gunline, then you want to lean into stuff that can get sustained. So stuff that can kick out heavy bolters, bolter inceptors, hellblasters.
I mean, what we need people to understand is that this detachment has the ability to pump out a hideous amount of damage.
Yeah.
But one thing that
you'll have a bad matchup for sure.
It will have a bad matchup. Some of these units are quite expensive. I think there is a build where it gets messy real quick if people aren't careful. I think the Wolfen build. I think you take a unit of 10 Wolfen, but I don't think you necessarily take more than that in this attachment. I think you take a unit of Blood Claws with Ragnar, but I don't think you take more than that. I think you take some units of Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Yeah.
And you use that as spice. And then I think there's other bits that you need to include, because you still got
the Wolfen suffer from losing the feel no pain, but also they need the characters near them so they can each get an OC. So at least we're contesting objectives, because otherwise they're just 100 points getting yeeted up the board and they're killing something possibly, especially as a 5-man.
there is the head taker build. We talked about as a combo. I didn't necessarily include that, but head
Yeah,
takers again, they punch out a lot of damage and
yeah,
are quite resilient.
yeah,
There is the build with the Terminators, Logan Grimnar being that Vect Aura,
yeah,
which is really good. Like adding to that CP output from your opponent,
yeah, yeah.
really strong, really
I mean,
important.
we've sort of looked at fairly obvious builds, I would say,
Yeah, we've
that
gone for
most people
like the
probably will
stuff that's
look
going
at.
to shout at you, and we want to just give you
Yeah,
the average stats for that,
yeah,
so you could see. Yes, we've had a little bit of fun by putting it into the Lion, but if you
yeah.
think about that, the Lion is incredibly tough to kill.
Oh god, yeah.
Now think
I,
about
I,
that.
I
It's
I
the,
would love to
probably the,
see different takes on the lists for Beast
yeah,
Slayer.
he's probably the hardest character to kill, like Primarch.
He's the only 3-up invul, right?
He's got a 3-up invul, 2-up save, 3-up invul.
There's no other 3-up invul characters.
No,
There probably must be one, and there must be another
and
one.
he's got that -1 to wound if you're above his toughness.
Yeah, I quite like the bolter and scepters for that job then.
Yes, I
Yeah,
I, I actually think also aggressors.
they
Anything
still
that
look funny. Yeah,
anything that you're just spamming loads of shots,
yeah,
like a copious amounts of bullets with the lethals, just make people roll saves and they'll fail them and then
yeah,
eventually they'll
yeah.
die.
Can you put shots down range? Yes, cool. Will it kill a knight eventually? Will it kill lion eventually? Will it kill all other builds like orcs, emperor's children? More than likely, because weight of fire will absolutely murder them.
Yep. That's why I like there's this idea of like aggressors, right? And if you can add the AP to them, the lethals will stack and you will.
Yeah, yeah, because you just take a captain in Gravis armor basically and stick it with 6 aggressors.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite nice.
And go.
Yeah,
But there's loads of combos. There's loads of combos. We haven't had time to experiment them with them all yet. But
no,
there is something we need to go on to, which is what are agreed and only must takers.
yeah,
Bajon
that's it.
Mattel
That's
Handy.
the list.
And why do you think he needs to be in this, Simon?
He's just so brilliant. He's just CP fodder. You just stick him in the back, and you can be brave and stick him up the board, but he wants to just sort of be supporting the army. Just going, here's a CP, here's a CP,
Great for just a backfield.
because you're going to use 2 CP a turn in your opponent's turn as it is.
And he's the downside is a big point sink for a backfield unit. But he
He
does
is.
come with 2 flamers.
He does, because you're going to take the Hellfrost.
Yeah.
Damage 5 gun. It's great.
Yeah, one pop off, bang. Look, he is good. He's got twin link built in. Again, the lethals is nice.
Yeah.
Not so impactful obviously with flamers because you're ignoring the hit roll, but he's just auto take in my opinion. 170
Yeah.
points for a tank of a guy to kill because he's got that invul save. He's got that -1 to wound if you're above his toughness. He's got that 5-up feel no pain.
Yeah.
It's just dope.
Yeah. He will stick around. He'll generate you an extra 5 CP over a game. Easy.
Yeah. And when you're in a CP hungry list build,
Yeah.
you want to be spamming it as much as you can.
Because we gain the benefit of Bjorn bringing us in CP, we don't get the benefit of discarding cards to get CP either. So yeah, you kind of want to be building for it.
Well, you just
You
want to be
don't
able
have
to
the
score.
luxury
You
of
should
discarding
be
cards so much.
scoring every card. This
Yeah.
So let's look at this from a new play style from the deck cards. The cards are forcing you more central.
Yeah.
Containment is gone, so there's no need to be on those edges to be like, oh, I need to be over here to make sure I can get containment.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to put units into the midfield. So one of the new cards is obviously having more units than your opponent in no man's land.
Yeah.
Which is, as a wolf player, it's going to be quite easy to achieve.
Yeah.
The other cards are obviously they're still behind enemy lines. They're still engaged. They're still X, Y, and Z. There's actually going to be more instances where you don't discard now because you're actually just able to score them, even if it's just for 1 point.
Yeah.
Bring it down is no longer as impactful, so you don't have to focus on killing freaking every vehicle you see to try and
No.
score big. You just
No.
kill one vehicle and you get 4 points. You know, there are bonuses to the way that the game and the meta has changed, meaning that as an army, we can focus the army can focus on being a little bit more of a punch up, because actually you don't need as many expendable units as you used to. You're still
No.
going to need to trade on the point. You're still going to need something to trade the point. You're still going to need
Yeah.
stuff to do your actions for. But this is where I think wolves are going to be really good for those like annoying actions that you don't want to commit your blood claws to doing.
That's the problem with them, though. They still need to be in range of a character.
Yeah, but you can do an action without having OC now.
Yeah. That's true.
So they can do sabotage. They can do recover assets.
Yeah.
And they move fast.
It's true. I was thinking more about the fact that it's contesting the objectives. You don't want to be using, like, I struggled against my game against Josh with the wolf, and just they went onto an objective, killed something, and it's like, well, I still don't hold it because I don't have characters near them.
That's why you want, in this build, you want that character. You take one unit of wolf and you take one character.
Yeah.
And then
if you're taking wolf in, it's that 10-man blob, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because then you want the OC. This is why I was thinking like Grey Hunters are probably quite nice to have as that sit behind the line and sit. But I don't think you need to commit too much to the Grey Hunters. I think one unit to sit on your natural expansion.
Yeah.
Because then if you lose 5, that's fine.
Yeah.
You've still got 15 OC on the point.
Yeah.
And if we have a look at the way the new UKTC maps are built and changed as well, I've been playing with them. Some of them are quite difficult to get firing lanes on, and I think this particular detachment is going to enjoy that because of being able to pick up from the side and put out somewhere else.
Yeah.
Being able to reactive move behind buildings or into units. I think there's a lot of fun to be had. It's an exciting time to be a Space Wolf player.
Oh god, yeah. Considering where we were with the start of the index and where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm new to the army, but I love it because I love the combat phase, and this now brings enough nuance and change, and it makes it a little bit more flexible to what I'm used to. So it's quite exciting. And some of the combos we've said today are devastating, but there are other combos which are as equally just as good.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what other people could come up with just from a pure gunline standpoint, because I'd be interested to see how many weapons can have sustained that benefit from it as well as lethal.
Agreed. I think what we'll probably look at next is for the next saga. Shall we look at Saga of the Hunter? Because you like that one, don't you?
The Bloodclaw one.
Let's look at Saga of the Hunter.
Yeah,
so
that'd be good.
Next week, folks, we're going to talk about Saga of the Hunter. This has been our kind of like our review on this book. I hope you've enjoyed kind of how we feel about the Saga of the Beast Slayer. We think it is definitely the best attachment, and it is certainly enough for us to probably do quite well in GTs, maybe even win or at least shadow round in super majors potentially.
Yeah,
it's very good. It's very strong.
It is. Someone will find a combo and someone will do work with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It may be that someone just floods the boards with 120 blood claws.
Fair play to that man.
Let's be honest, it can kill the lion.
It can.
And on that bombshell of upsetting Toby for the last 40 minutes, we're going to say goodbye.
He's currently rocking in his chair going, you can't do it. No,
the lion is eternal.
Yeah. He's not.
No. Well, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for the support. And we've been Arron and Simon. Take it easy.
Bye.